My wife and I were together for 12 years, married for 8. I thought we had it all. A nice house, 2 beautiful kids, and a life we built from the ground up. I worked hard as a software engineer, often pulling long hours to provide for us, while she worked as a high-end real estate agent. Our lives were busy, but I believed our foundation was solid. That all came crashing down one Tuesday evening. I'd just gotten home from a grueling day at work, looking forward to a quiet night with my family. As primera wild, Inai, heard my wife, Clara, on the phone in the living room. She was laughing, a carefree sound that usually made my heart lift. But this time, something was different. Her voice was hushed, conspiratoria. I paused in the hallway, not wanting to interrupt, but my curiosity got the better of me. "Oh, you have no idea," she giggled into the phone. "He's so clueless. Thinks I'm at a late showing, but I'm really just enjoying my me time." There was a pause. "Yeah, he just works all the time. Honestly, it's like he's married to his job. It makes things easy." My blood ran cold. Who was she talking to? And what did she mean by easy? I crept closer, my heart pounding in my chest. "He completely trusts me," she continued, her voice dripping with a mix of amusement and disdain. "Last night was incredible, by the way. You really know how to make a woman feel alive. He hasn't looked at me like that in years." The world tilted on its axis. Last night, she'd told me she was having dinner with a client. The pieces of the puzzle started clicking into place with horrifying clarity. The late nights, the sudden business trips, the way she'd been so distant lately. It wasn't work, stress, it was someone else. I felt a surge of nausea. I wanted to storm in there, to confront her, to demand an explanation. But some primal instinct for self-preservation held me back. I needed proof. I needed to know the full extent of this betrayal. Quietly, I backed away and went upstairs, my mind racing. The man I thought was my partner, the mother of my children, was living a double life. Over the next few days, I was a ghost in my own home. I went through the motions, playing the part of the loving husband, but inside I was shattered. Every smile she gave me felt like a lie. Every touch felt like a betrayal. I started paying closer attention. I checked our shared phone records and found one number she called and texted constantly, often late at night. A quick search revealed the number belonged to a man named Julian Vance, a wealthy property developer her agency frequently worked with. The confirmation felt like a physical blow. It all made sense. He was rich, powerful, and everything I wasn't. The anger I felt was immense, but it was overshadowed by a profound, soul-crushing sadness. How could she do this to us? To our family? I remembered her laughter on the phone, the casual cruelty in her voice as she called me clueless. That's what hurt the most. It wasn't just cheating, it was the complete lack of respect. She was laughing at me. I knew I couldn't stay. The trust was gone, irrevocably broken. I contacted a lawyer, the best one I could find. I explained the situation, my voice trembling with a mixture of rage and grief. He was professional and straightforward, laying out my options. We started gathering evidence, documenting everything. The phone records, credit card statements showing hotel stays she'd claimed were business trips. The case was ironclad. As the days turned into a week, my sadness began to morph into a cold, hard resolve. She had laughed at me. She had mocked my hard work, the very work that provided the comfortable life she was so casually risking. She thought I was a fool. Well, the fool was about to have his day. I decided I wasn't going to let this end quietly. She didn't deserve a quiet, dignified exit from our marriage. She deserved to be exposed for who she really was. My lawyer drew up the divorce papers. As I looked at the documents that would officially end my marriage, an idea began to form in my mind. It was dramatic, it was public, and it was exactly the kind of spectacle she would hate. Her reputation was everything to her. Her image as a successful, put-together professional was meticulously crafted. I was going to shatter it, just like she had shattered our family. I found out through a colleague of hers that her agency was having a big quarterly award ceremony the following Friday. It was a major event. Julian Vance, her lover, would be there. All of her colleagues, her boss, The creme de la creme of the local real estate world would be in attendance. It was the perfect stage. The day of the event, my hands were shaking, but my purpose was clear. I dressed not in my usual casual attire, but in my best suit. I wanted to look my best when I brought her world crashing down. I drove to the upscale hotel where the ceremony was being held. I walked into the grand ballroom, my heart hammering against my ribs. The room was buzzing with chatter and clinking glasses. I scanned the crowd and found her easily. She was standing with a group of people, holding a glass of champagne, looking radiant in a designer dress. And right beside her, with his arm possessively around her waist, was Julian Vance. They were laughing together, looking for all the world, like a power couple. The sight sent a fresh wave of white-hot anger through me. I took a deep breath, clutched the thick manila envelope containing the divorce papers, and started walking towards them. People turned to look at me, a stranger in their midst. The conversations closest to me started to die down. As I got closer, Clara's smile faltered. Her eyes widened in confusion, then a flash of panic. "What are you doing here?" she hissed, trying to maintain her composure. I didn't answer her. Instead, I stopped directly in front of her and Julian. I raised my voice, ensuring everyone in the vicinity could hear me clearly. "Clara," I said, my voice steady and loud, "I believe these belong to you." I held up the envelope. "They're divorce papers." A collective gasp went through the crowd. All eyes were on us. Clara's face went pale, her champagne glass slipping from her suddenly numb fingers and shattering on the floor. "What is the meaning of this?" she stammered, her voice barely a whisper. "Oh, I think you know exactly what this means," I replied, my voice ringing with righteous anger. "It means I know everything." I turned my gaze to Julian, who was looking deeply uncomfortable. "I know about you, Julian. I know about the late-night calls, the business trips that were actually hotel stays." The lies I turned back to Clara, whose carefully constructed mask was crumbling. "You laughed at me, Clara. You called me clueless while you were cheating on me with him. You mocked the very life I worked so hard to give us. Well, who's laughing now?" I didn't wait for an answer. I took the papers out of the envelope and thrust them into her trembling hands. "You're served," I said, my voice dropping but still carrying in the now silent room. "Consider our marriage over." I hope it was worth it. The silence was deafening. Her colleagues were staring, their faces a mixture of shock and pity. Her boss looked furious. The perfect image she had built for herself was destroyed in a matter of seconds, right in front of everyone who mattered to her career. Without another word, I turned and walked away. I didn't look back. As I walked out of that ballroom, leaving the wreckage of her reputation behind, I didn't feel triumph. Not really. I felt a profound sense of release. It was the end of a painful chapter, but it was also the beginning of my new life. A life built on truth and self-respect. The aftermath was messy, as expected. The divorce was finalized quickly. I got full custody of the kids. Clara lost her job. Her affair became the talk of the town, and her career in that high-society real estate world was over. Sometimes I feel a pang of guilt for the public nature of it all, but then I remember her laughter on the phone. I remember the disrespect. I did what I had to do to stand up for myself. I took back my power, and I've never regretted it. It was a harsh lesson, but one she brought entirely upon herself. Now, my kids and I are healing, and we're building a new, more honest life together, and that's a foundation that can never be broken. Thanks for listening to my story. Please subscribe for more.